Good evening. I will call this meeting to order. If you will kindly stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, will you kindly call the roll?
Allenson.
Hello, here.
Carmody.
Here.
Fishbein.
Here.
Laffin.
Here.
Regan.
Here.
Reynolds.
Here.
Tata.
Here.
Testa. Marone.
Here. All right, moving on to the consent agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve or accept consent agenda items 3A through 3O.
Second. Motion's made and seconded. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. There are no items removed from the consent agenda. On to the public question and answer period. Does anyone have a question for the council?
Please don't start the egg timer yet. I want to give these to the chairman of the town council because I had said redheaded stepchild 3 times last week at our last town council meeting, and he said that his wife might take offense. So this is from my daughter's flower farm, so please accept it.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Well played, Mr. Comerford. Well played.
Now back to business. Mayor, where are we with the sidewalk inspection policy?
And I'm sorry, if you could just identify yourself for the mic. I know who you are, but
Oh, Bill coming from Broadview Drive.
thank you so much.
We're still examining it.
Okay. Any update with the basketball courts?
I'm not sure what you're looking for.
Any contact with the vendor or?
I know there's been contact with the vendor. There's presently no issues with those courts.
With the crack, there's no issues?
There's no crack. Are you talking about the Wall Street court?
Yeah.
Yeah, I found the crack. It's not even a separation.
Okay. Also, I've been asking, because I want this for the next budget meeting, I asked the mayor to please give me the update for the MS4 2023 report. Do we have that, or am I going to be able to have that information for the next budget meeting, public hearing?
So there's no mechanism for us to update the MS4 with DEEP. So I will see where we are with whatever we have on file, but there's no, after the report goes through the draft review period on the DEEP website, once it's filed with DEP, we're not aware of a way to amend it.
Okay, so I can still get that information that would be amendable?
I'm not sure if that exists, but I'll ask.
Okay. Now a couple things real quick. At either last town council meeting or the prior one, Chairman Marone had stated that the town council was going to put their big boy pants on and ask about the nonprofits, questions and so forth. And it's come to my attention that potentially the public hearing, the nonprofits are potentially not going to be able, the public's not going to be able to ask any questions. It was also suggested that questions be submitted in writing. I submitted 6 easy questions to the chairman to have answered by one of the nonprofit organizations. It's been 240 days. 240 days, not one answer. I did everything. I sat on my hands. I waited. And to this day, Chairman Rowe, did you get any answers at all?
So to answer your question, no, I didn't get any answer.
Okay.
But in fairness, I'm not sure that we consider the Cemetery Association one of the not-for-profits, at least not in my estimation. I think they take up sort of a separate space in the budget. But to answer your question, no, I didn't get any response.
Okay, so whether they are a contractor or a nonprofit, we still didn't get any answers to any of the questions, because then we can bring up the lease. And I can give you probably dozens of instances where they're violating the terms of the lease. So there's a whole litany of problems, and nobody wants to address it. Everybody wants to put their head in the sand and look the other way. I don't, and I said this before, we should just defund it. We virtually just cut the grass. Do I have like a couple more seconds?
Yes.
Okay. Mayor, on the bottom of your letterhead, when you emailed me, it says best managed towns in Connecticut. Were we selected as the best managed town in the state?
I'm actually opening my email to see exactly what it says. So it says from Business View Publishing, Best Managed Towns in Connecticut 2024.
So were we designated as a best managed town?
That was a badge given to us by Business View magazine.
So there was no competition that you're aware of or anything else?
I participated in an interview with the magazine. They published an article, and then they sent us this badge.
Okay, so you're not potentially aware that there was any kind of competition or anything that would constitute the badge?
I am telling you what happened. I'm not sure what you're asking.
Well, I started doing a little scratching on the surface of this because what had happened was Business View magazine, in my opinion, solicits businesses, municipalities, and then they part of their stick is and I did FOI Don Crouch, and it was 6,388 pages long, the communications going back and forth. And to me, it was a sellout to the town. The administration pimped out a list, in my opinion, a list of businesses that they demanded that they wanted 15 top players in the town, and they wanted a letter from the mayor on the letterhead of the mayor with his signature. It's almost verbatim what they gave him that they wanted written. And then that letter went to the businesses and said, please, if you want to be part of this, all you have to do is, this organization, Business View Magazine, will get to you and supply you with the pricing. I was pretty intrigued by reading it all, because I would have thought that if I was a business owner, I would want to know that somebody is using my information, emails, contact person, all these things, and giving permission for that information to be used for solicitation purposes, which I asked, nothing exists. I asked for a copy of the letter for permission, nothing exists. So what they do is it says right in these emails, I can supply the documents. It says, well, we're not going to charge the town, but in order for this to happen, in my words, is you have to supply a list of the top 15 vendors, and you have to sign the letter. That's pretty bad, in my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Ms. Gross?
Debbie Gross, Long Hill Road. I'm not sure if this is the appropriate time to ask this question, but it's a general question regarding the revenue budget and property taxes, or if I should wait till next week, but I'll ask it and you guys can tell me.
Okay.
So the property tax revenue is going to go up, or the property taxes are going to go up like $8.3 million, which is that 5.94%, right? So the burden of this is being saddled on residential property, or property taxes. And that, I did some calculations, and it comes up to like almost $15 million, which means all the other categories are going down significantly. I know motor vehicles is one of them. But my question is, in order to maybe even the playing field a little bit, does the mayor or the council have the authority to set a different mill rate based on each one of the categories? So thus, maybe the residential property taxes could be a lower value and the other ones can go up a little bit to kind of even it out, because the personal property tax from businesses is going down $2 million. And I know the motor vehicles is going down $5 million. I took your nice, Mayor, little pie chart and with the percentages, and I applied it to each one of the numbers and got the calculations for 24, this fiscal year and the upcoming fiscal year to get these numbers. I'd be happy to share them with you, but I'm sure you have them. So I guess, like I said, my question is, do you have the authority to do that, maybe to help with evening this out a little bit?
So I don't know, Mayor,
So our ability to tax is dictated by Connecticut statutes, and I'm not aware of any authority in the statutes that allows us to create different mill rates on that basis.
Can we look into it?
I will certainly let me speak with the law department tomorrow, and I'll have something back for you by the public hearing.
Great, thanks so much.
Certainly. Anyone else?
Good evening. Sean Doherty, Wallingford Family YMCA, also hang out at 2 Windswept Hill Road, Wallingford, Connecticut. Thank you, town councilors, council chair, Mayor Savoni. This is our 4th year of the Great Give 06492, a focused effort here in Wallingford within the Community Foundation of Greater New Haven Great Give 36-hour online giving event, which is going to be held on May 7th and 8th in 2005. The local effort involved from 12 organizations to up to 17 collaborative organizations. A Kinder Ground, Capital for Change, Connecticut STEM, Connecticut Food Share, Friends of the Wallingford Animal Shelter, Fostering Family Hope, Gaylord Specialty Healthcare, Masters Manna, Soul Friends, Spanish Community Wallingford, Sisters Project, Tricircle, Wallingford Chorus, Wallingford Family YMCA, Wallingford Public Library, We Care, and WPAA TV and Community Media Center.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Town Council. Riley O'Connell. I'm here as the Executive Director of Soul Friends, a Wallingford nonprofit. This Giving Day is a fun-filled event with a low bar to participate. As a philanthropist, as low as $5. I just want to point out, it's always important throughout the year to support your nonprofits, but the great part about the Great Give and this collective we have here today is it's a time where your donation could have a multiplicative effect, right? We all support each other as nonprofits in different ways, and this is an opportunity to extend that support. For the last 3 years, local foundations, civic organizations, and others have provided matching dollars as sponsors. The Regan Foundation has joined the James Napier Foundation this year. The Elks have joined the Wallingford Rotary. C.T. Hurst provides in-kind support, as does WPAA TV. And a full-page event announcement, which you see some of our ad here, will run for the next 2 Saturdays, and the overall promotions feature an acorn symbolizing being a seed, as I'm sure many of you have seen over the years, and that seed that can make great things grow. So thank you.
Susan Huizenga, 36 Surrey Drive, representing WPA TV and the collective of 17 nonprofits. Great Give 06492, a unique subset of the Great Give. We want to let you know that this is a fun event, and the fun event begins in our space. You can either come as an audience member or watch online. We have the Bargain Band, and we've adopted one of their songs, Seeds, as our theme song, because seeds is what it's all about. It's about planting that idea that you can give back if you've received something from one of these organizations for as little as $5, or you can contribute multiple family members as $5. The more that we get $5 or multiple donations through this online giving, the more it is amplified. It's really about the number of people that we get to participate. We've reached the $100,000 goal for the last few years, but we want to make it $300,000 this year because we have a lot more nonprofits to support. And we also want to announce, unfortunately, You've been seeing Be the Seed information about WCI on the last few weeks. We've collectively worked with them. We'll continue to do so. They will be in the ad, but they were just notified today that they are a 501c4 and therefore not officially eligible to be part of the 350-some nonprofits that are part of the Great Give for Greater New Haven. So you will see that, but we're going to still support them and raise them up in some way through this process, because they've been a sponsor and cooperating with us right along. So we'll probably give them a little bit of that amplifying money for being part of what we tried to do on behalf of Wallingford's community. So let's all say, be the seed. Be the seed.
Thank you very much.
One more thing, I think.
Terry Grady, Capital for Change. Just standing here, I notice freedom from want behind you there, and these people work to make that a reality. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Best of luck with the fundraising. All right, I will close the public question and answer. Moving on to number 6, discussion of old business. Mayor, do you have an update on community pool?
The bids have been opened. I believe those bids were distributed to the town council via email today. And we do have a low bidder. I think the lowest qualified bidder is about $9.3 million. So we'll be presenting that to the council in the near future.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I think we have the update on the building maintenance assessment because we all have the pamphlets. Unless you have anything else you'd like to add?
No, we're reviewing them to come up with a plan, a long-range plan to address what's been revealed by the assessments.
Okay, perfect. And Mayor or Mr. Farrell, do you have an update on Hidden Brook Lane?
I do indeed. Thank you, Chairman. Attorney Small met with Planning and Zoning last week, and they decided that they were going to seek to call the bond on the developer.
Okay.
So that's going to move forward.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. Moving on to item 7. I will open a public hearing on the repeal and replacement of Article 6, Chapter 203, abatement for members of the Volunteer Fire Department. Would anyone like to speak on the, or does anyone have a question related to the public hearing? Anyone from the public? Okay, coming back to the council, does the council have any questions? Councilor Tata.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just for the record, I'll be recusing myself from items 7 and 8. Thank you.
Perfect. All right, if no questions, then I will close the public hearing. Moving on to item 8. Can I get a motion on item 8?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to repeal and replace Article 6, Chapter 203, abatement for members of Volunteer Fire Department as discussed in previous meetings.
Okay, motion is made and seconded.
Second.
Any questions on the motion? Or discussion, I should say? Okay, seeing none. Any members of the public with questions? All right, Madam Clerk, will you kindly call the roll?
Allison,
Yes.
Carmody,
Yes.
Fishbein,
Yes.
Laffin,
Yes.
Regan,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Tata,
Abstain.
Testa, Marone.
I vote yes, the motion passes. Seeing no other business on the agenda, this meeting is adjourned.